Hey, Cardinals fans, welcome back to the Redbird Rundown presented by I-70 Sports, your home for all things St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Matt here with Andy and Jonathan. Yeah. We would love if you would share our Spotify and Apple links with your friends. It takes just a second and helps us out a lot. They can be found on Facebook, Blue Sky, and Twitter. Today, we're recapping the past series, deep diving a few players' stats post All-Star break. The runway guys, you know it, checking in on a few minor league players and sharing what we'll be watching for heading into next week's games. But before we get into the series recaps, we need to check the record and our vibe check for the last week. They are currently playing the Yankees. We're recording during the finale of that series. Right now, they are 1-4 on the last week and currently behind with Michaelis on the bump. So let's just assume 1-5. Gentlemen, we need a vibe check. Andy, go first. Let's hear it.
Okay. Do you remember, Matt, uncovering we all went to the same high school. Jonathan, did you end up going to the new high school that they built?
No,
No. Okay. So
no.
we were all
His
in
hip
the
hurts too
100
sometimes.
year
He's old.
plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you remember wondering where the kids who were not in Gen Ed, where they went? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What's holding cell they had those poor souls in. Yeah.
Yes, right.
Yes.
And so, like you would see them
Yeah.
at rallies and like, hey, the Special Olympics, and like they come out and everybody, yeah, let's go.
Fun.
And
People
Right, right,
supporting
right.
them. It was
and
great.
then you
Yeah.
don't see them ever in between classes. I had no idea where they went.
Okay.
I found out my senior year, and I distinctly remember the day that I was sent down to the bottom of B building and to the depths, and I found them. And I
Okay.
came out rejoicing
Oh,
because
They were
I
being
tell
cared
everybody,
for.
I found them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. With love. Good. Good. We like that.
yes.
We're in the bottom of B building. Where are they?
Okay.
Where are the Card? I know that was
Where are the
exceeded.
Cardinals?
Where are the
It's okay.
Cardinals? That's the vibe check. I had to set it up.
Yeah, of
maybe
course.
for the
Yeah.
the blue
The question
tile
is, if you
of
went
B
and found
building.
them, would you come out rejoicing? Would you come out just completely and totally mid? Would you come out sad? I don't
mean,
know
it's
how
not
you would come
not
out.
great
Yeah.
recently. Not great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't come out like I did. Yeah, that B building blue tile though. That was memories right there.
See, the
Okay.
thing is, the folks in B building, they were treated well. It was
Yeah.
good for them to be there.
They
The
were. It seemed
Cardinals,
like it was a good time down there.
on the other hand, if you were to find them there, it'd be like,
Mm,
oh no, what
yeah.
happened? Because
Yeah. The Cardinals.
my vibe check is, for the first time in a while, I kind of feel embarrassed, just a little bit. I
Okay.
feel a little embarrassed because not that we lost the series to the Rockies. That stuff happens. It's baseball. The Angels swept the season series against the Dodgers. Like stuff's just gonna happen, right?
Sure.
But I don't know. Like we're playing the Yankees. There was another Fox game, which was like a national game, and they put up this little infographic that's like, "When's the last time?" ... for the Cardinals, and I saw like
Oh boy.
postseason appearance, championship series, right, and World Series in 2011, and we were just getting thwopped, right? Sonny was just getting smoked, and I was like, man, I know we got a lot coming on the horizon of like maybe some progress, but it's kind of embarrassing to feel, I don't know, to be a Cardinals fan like in this moment. Like we don't really have anything to, offer up on a global stage here, the national stage. We just kind of get, I don't know. It just, for the first time in a while, I just sort of felt embarrassed. I don't know if any of this is making sense, but I just
It's
didn't have a
making
good
sense.
feeling.
I'm glad you said that because that leads directly into my vibe check, which is Mason Wynn's Charizard cleats, which he
Yeah.
has on. Just made a spectacular play in them today, and I agree with you. I am like, I don't know if you can be post record, but I feel post record. We're 2 games under 500 anymore,
Yeah.
and this is bad. I don't think I care. I've already I've written this off, and so I've decided as a fan I'm going to be looking into like the fun odds and ends. I think Mason Wynn is going to continue to be in my life. I was like a little bit too old for Pokemon, so it's not even like a big time thing for me. But great, get the man some Charizard cleat. Like let's have some fun.
Sure.
Let's get some new home run celebrations. Let's break out some,
Something.
I don't know, home run chains or something. We need to do something to enliven this franchise because you're right, on a national stage, on the St. Louis stage, even on the Louisville, Kentucky stage, the Cardinals just got nothing for anybody right now. It's not good.
Yeah.
Not good. Speaking of, This is the team, the 2025 Cardinals, responsible for 18.5% of all Rockies wins so far in the season. The Schwami,
Oh,
Andy Smith, or I don't know if that's Chris Berman over there. The Schwami called it correctly. The Rockies, we went
I
1-2 against them.
didn't call
Michaelis
the
pitched.
Yankees.
Michaelis pitched well. Donnie rode off the bench, came in clutch in a game one win, and then it just all fell apart. Our starting pitching fell apart. Libby wasn't terrible, but the offense didn't show up against a team. I had to like triple check this stat. The Rockies have a 6.5 ERA as a team, and we scored hardly any runs. So, Rocky series, hooray!
yeah. I mean, you're one Donnie General riding across the battlefield away from getting swept by the Rockies at home.
Not good.
I would like to point out
Not good.
how poorly we have been playing against the Rockies, which is why, I mean, we just been
Yeah.
playing mad baseball anyway. We need to recall that on July 23rd, so not very long ago, about a month ago, the Cardinals handed the Rockies, the offense handed them their first shutout, the Rockies, in 220 games. And that was the longest in the modern era. I would like to point out that just a mere month later, after going 220 games, they went approximately, I don't know, 20, 25 games to shut out the Cardinals again.
Yeah.
And that,
Only
I
two
think,
games against us, though. Just took two. You know,
I think that shows
Gosh.
a little backup, Jonathan, for you about being embarrassed. We just got embarrassed.
Yeah. Revert back to my emotions. That's how I felt. Yep.
Yeah.
We got embarrassed
Bad.
against the Rockies, and for whatever reason, why not? You know what? Worse in baseball. They broke a record against us in modern era. Let's do it again. Let's run
Yeah.
it back. That was fun.
Can I ask you guys a very quick question about this Rocky series? This has nothing to do with Michael McGreevy personally. Okay, what I'm about to say. But I was listening to the commentators, Brad and Chip, and I never do this. Okay, I just want to say it's on mute 99% of the time. But I heard them like continuing to like hype up McGreevy that he has a lot of grit, you know, a lot of good contact, a lot of hard contact, but he's got grit out there. And I just thought to myself, like, what else are these guys supposed to say? Like, we're not that good. They have to be positive, but like grit ain't gonna get swings and misses. Okay. And I'm not trying to be like super pessimistic here, but like he was fine, and that's nothing against McGreevy. But I heard that, and part of me was like, why even say that? You know, like he's got grit, he's getting destroyed. you know?
Quick side thing. Was it
Yeah.
you guys, or it might have been my wife, who showed that the Cardinals before a game, the Cardinals media team will ask the Cardinals players to just name random words that the guys
I
on
did see
air
this.
have to say on the broadcast. So if there's ever a moment where you're like, did they just have a mini stroke? No, they may be trying to work in a word
Just
that the Cardinals
working it in.
players. Yeah.
That's hilarious. I do that
Yeah.
sometimes at school. Like I've taught a class like 25 times. It's just sometimes I'll just ask a kid right before class, just like name a random word. I'm going to use it today while I'm teaching. So maybe they should just play more games like that because, Jonathan, to your point, Chip and Brad are in a really bad spot. And it is incredibly annoying as a fan when your team's not playing well and they're like, Michael McGreevy, you know, what they're saying just does not match the
No.
reality of the situation. It's just really hard to take.
That's
So
exactly how I felt.
in two games against the Yankees so far, we did the classic baseball thing of got decent pitching and no offense, and then had tons of offense and horrible pitching. So,
Yeah.
we went 0-2 so far. We're down today. I don't know. I don't even know that it matters at this point if we avoid the sweep or not. But I did notice. I guess on an upswing, I noticed the stands were a little more full, but I think that's entirely because of the Yankees and not because of the Cardinals. Yeah.
Yankees little buff there in the stands. That happens
Yeah.
everywhere they go. Yeah.
Yeah. Fans Saturday got to see an Aaron Judge home run that Vic almost made an incredible play on, and unfortunately he came up lame, hurt himself, sprained his ankle. So they brought Nathan Church up to the major leagues, and that's nice because I at least intend to return to Nathan Church as a name towards the end of this podcast as we're going to start looking at some minor league guys. But before we do that, we do want to stay focused today for the first part of this segment about players on the major league roster. And we're going to specifically take a look at three of the more important names on the roster, both in terms of how are they going to finish the year, but also in terms of the age-old question of are they with us next year, how big of a role, those types of things. So we're going to look at Nolan Gorman, Ivan Herrera, and Jordan Walker, and we're going to do this specifically through the lens of the post-All-Star break. So we'll start with Gorman. Gorman's 25 years old. Post All-Star break, he is batting .258, 343, 387 for a 730 OPS, a 110 weighted runs created plus, so a little bit above average. The highest walk rate on the team post All-Star break at 11.4% walk rate, and is striking out an above average pace of 28.6% on the K rate. Andy, I just want to open it up here. Is there any Gorman, anything you've seen or watched, or would you like to make an Andor joke right here? Whatever you want to do about Gorman.
Well, just for the listener, real quick, as a reminder, how many games we're talking about. If you're not
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
July 15th was the All-Star break. So this has been about a month of information, and some of these stats, depending on how hurt they were before the break, this represents like 20 to 30% of their at-bats and swings for the season, somewhere in there. Just a FYI out there.
Probably a little bit bigger than a small sample size, but not a huge sample. Yeah.
But for whatever reason, baseball's real, like, after that All-Star break is like a monument. It's like a thing. So
like the birth of Jesus, BC and AD. It really, it really delineates. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, I like the numbers of like Walker, Gorman, and Ivan. I was surprised. I know that you just asked me about Nolan Gorman. I was shocked to skip ahead real quick of a stat that I did not expect to come across, and I'm just like itching to get this out there. So sorry for hijacking this, but it was like, okay, Jonathan.
Yes,
for
that's me.
Right fielders since the All-Star break.
Okay.
Who has more hits, Juan Soto or Jordan Walker?
The way you're setting this up,
Yeah.
I feel like I just want to say Jordan Walker.
Yeah.
Because Juan Soto has been largely not worth $700 billion this year. Right. So I'm going to say Jordan Walker's my answer.
So Juan Soto is number 2 in the league in right fielders since that time.
Okay.
And Jordan Walker is number 1. Jordan Walker has
Like we all
approximately
predicted,
31 less plate appearances. So he has less attempts. He has 32 more hits than Juan Soto. I about fell over. I mean, I know he's doing well. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sorry for skipping ahead and just going to Jordan Walker and when Matt asked about Nolan Gorman. But I about fell over whenever I saw hey, that's a stat. So, Jonathan, do you have a stat like that about Nolan Gorman to get back onto Matt's original question?
I don't have a cool stat like that compares our largely struggling, possible budding all-star to a guy who's making almost $1 billion. I don't have that. But I do have the things you highlighted, Matt, that were very good positives. I just kind of pro and con listed these people is what I did. His walk rate has been at a career high the entire year. That's excellent. They talked about this in spring training, and that's what he was going to try to do. If you recall last year, in the year prior, he could never catch up to the high fastball. You know how we always joked about Walker's going to get the sliders low and away? Gorman can't hit a high fastball to save his life. Well, he's been laying off of that, which is why you're seeing this elevated walk rate. He's still striking out at a pretty good clip. The thing that scares me, so those are the pros, right? He's walking higher. He still has really good slug. You saw it last night. He hit a pretty far home run, pretty long home run. He's got that in him. He strikes out way too much. These are the cons. And the biggest thing that's killing me about him is his hard hit rate has continued to trend downward throughout his career. It's still above average. It's 41%. The average is 35%. That's still above average. But when he busted into the league, it was 3 or 4 percentage points higher. So that's continuing to go down, as well as his average exit velocity. This is just, I'm pairing those two things to say, how hard does he hit the ball? How often is he hitting the ball hard? That is a good indicator to tell you, no matter what kind of contact the guy makes. It's like Walker. If he makes contact, it's going to be a hit because he hits the ball so hard. So for Gorman, his only tool is that he can hit. He's an atrocious defender, right? Mm-hmm. Which is, we have seen, he's looked like, honestly, like
third base has been particularly bad lately.
Those orange cones you see on the interstate, that's him over there at third base. Is what he is. So yeah. He still strikes out too much, and it's the exit velocity and the hard hit rate that scares me for somebody that's their only tool. Matt?
Yeah. I think headed into the offseason that I think Nolan Gorman is the single most interesting person for me on this entire roster, because I think it's going to tell us a lot about what Chaim Bloom is thinking and what his team is thinking and how far they are down the road, whether or not He's a part of the team. They move on from him. Because my key question about Gorman
what is it?
is Kyle Schwarber in there?
Mm.
Because Kyle Schwarber does not play defense at all. Now, granted, we've got some roster construction problems, and it would be great to just stick Gorman in at DH, but that's not a possibility right now. So
Yeah.
if he's going to run an OBP of 343, that's pretty good. If he's going to run a slug of 387, that's not nearly enough slug for what you're trying to get out of Gorman. So can he finally like pull this whole thing together and become a 3 true outcomes guy of walk K or bash a double or hit a home run? I don't know. I mean, based on what we have seen from Gorman in his career. Now, I guess I should say this real quick. Gorman's career numbers for age 22 through 25 are very similar to Schwarber's age 22 through 25 stats. So, again, maybe I hate to do this, but maybe we just need some more development time here with Gorman. Where are you guys at? What do you think? Is Kyle Schwarber in there or is it not?
Schwarber, it's actually interesting. Yeah, Andy, do you have something on that?
I was gonna say I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, these are all monumentally difficult decisions to pick between these
super
guys.
hard.
It is, but I actually just listened to another podcast where they talked about Schwarber pretty in depth and how it benefited him so greatly to stop playing defense, and all he did was hit. And so he's like a premier talent right now. I mean, he might be the best hitter in the league with the league with Judge and these other guys, just straight up from a contact rate. Like he's either gonna, like you said, Matt, he's gonna hit a home run or he's gonna strike out or walk. Like there's really nothing in between. Is it in there? I don't know. And how long do we give him to do it? That's my counterpoint to you is do we go into 2026 and giving him what? An entire year to be the DH? Like to figure it out? Like I guess that's the overarching question is the guys we're going to talk about today. And we could have extended this list to Newt. We could have extended it to Burley. There's a lot of guys.
We can do them in the future too, because yeah.
But it's all about like, could it be in there? Yes, I think the answer is yes, it could be in there. He smoked the minor leagues. He is always profiled as a guy that can hit a lot of home runs. It's just we've never, ever seen him pull it all the way together. And him being such a bad defender just leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. Because every time he's out there, it's like, golly, he's like insufferable. It's hard to watch him do that.
Maybe this is bad. And again, maybe this is a Mozeliak cluster bomb on the roster. But maybe his fate is more tied to what Nolan Arenado does than anything else. Because if Arenado's gone, then I think there's a whole lot more space to say, okay, you know what? Gorman, sink or swim, third base is yours. Yeah. Do it. This is really it. If Arenado is still on the team past this offseason, I mean, Weatherholt is just bashing down the door in AAA, smoking AAA. There's more roster constriction on the way. So I hate to make it dependent on somebody else, but I kind of think that's where we're at with him. Let me put you guys on the spot here in the middle of August. Andy, is Nolan Gorman on the team next year?
Yeah, I think he's on the team.
Okay.
Yep.
Jonathan, do you concur?
I think he's on the team just because I think they'll be afraid to lose the slug. I think he's the one guy that has true power potential, and that's really hard to find and something we do not have. So I think he will be on the team. Do I agree with that? I'm a little milquetoast on this, and I'm a little in the middle. I don't know if I agree with that. I think I would cut somebody else first, like Burley. Like I think I tried to trade him. I just see him as less of an asset than Gorman because Burley's not going to hit 40 home runs. There's a world where Gorman could do that. And he kind of slots into that Walker plot armor just a little bit because you see all the promise with Walker that we'll get to. You can kind of see the same thing with Gorman. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like if he hits 40, 45 home runs for another team, you're like kicking yourself.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to plant my flag here and say that Chaim Bloom is going to do a good job, but he's not a miracle worker. I think Gorman is not on this roster next year because I don't think they're going to be able to move Arenado, and I don't think they'll do something as bold as just release Arenado and eat the money. And so I really think that he's going to be gone. I think Bloom is going to get what he can for him, and I think we're just going to move on with other guys filling roster spots because, to be fair to Gorman, he's had more quote-unquote runway than any of these guys we've been talking about. He's been up for 3 seasons, and it's not like he's been injured all the time like Newt. He's had a lot of time, and again, it's always – I feel like this is the case with a few of our guys. It's always, it's in there. Oh, if we could just put it together. Oh, if we could just see it. And to your point, maybe we get rid of him and he does it for somebody else. But I'll also say if that is the case, I will understand the move and what needed to happen. And it just kind of sucks as far as that goes.
Do you think that Sajaci has any pressure? Like, do you think he's putting any pressure on them to think about this? Like, has he proven in his time he spent with St. Louis that Gorman is even more expendable because he's kind of
I
clogging
would
that up
not.
too? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think JC's ceiling is as high as Gorman's. And so JC is younger than Gorman and has more years of control left. I just, unfortunately for Thomas Sajaci, I wouldn't put any pressure on any part of the roster because of Sajaci, like I would with Weatherholt, right?
I agree. I agree. I was just curious. And did you feel the same way on that?
I mean, Sujeshi just roped a double and scored two, but sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yes,
No, no, no. I'm
I
not
do
saying he
agree.
can't be part of the team. And I mean, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
he'll be a
Agrees.
good player. I just, yeah, yeah. Okay, well, will remains to be seen on Gorman as it kind of has his whole career, and again, this will be a key guy to watch to see what Bloom does in the offseason. So Ivan Herrera, post All-Star break, also 25 years old. Herrera has been, the stats confirm what I've been seeing. He's been on a bit of a downer after the
Yeah.
All-Star break. It's 250 average, 333 on base, 337 slug, 670 OPS, 95 weighted runs created plus. That's 5% below average for a DH with no defensive position. 8.5% walk rate, 25.5% K rate. Here's what I noticed, and then I'll throw it open to you guys. The ground ball percentage is up some, and the line drive percentage is down some. And so I think you just get some of those line drives that are going to probably go for doubles, and you end up grounding out to the shortstop. I think he's still hitting the ball hard, but the profile has changed. So I think that's what we're seeing in terms of his numbers. Jonathan, why don't you start us on Herrera? Just door open,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
say.
I was gonna say I think this has been a pretty prolonged slump for Ivan,
Hmm.
right? And he's still at a 95 WRC plus. We have seen Newt, Gorman,
Sure.
Walker,
That's a good
Donnie.
point.
Their slumps, their WRC plus has been like, I'm not kidding, in the 20s or the
Hmm.
30s, like really, really bad. We have noticed that Ivan has been this way. Every underlying metric that you talked about, Matt, I mean, you talked about the ground ball rate, all the other ones that I really focus on, hard hit rate, swing speed, exit velocity, all of that stuff is elite. All of it, and it's only getting better throughout him being and actually getting opportunities in the major leagues. The thing that we don't talk enough about with Ivan, when I was looking at his profile, just studying him a little bit, was he has lost a considerable amount of value not being a catcher.
Mm.
We haven't talked about that really in depth. He was pretty bad as a catcher. The metrics back that up. He's pretty low on the, on the scale here, but him being a pure DH, you don't really want that. Really, you
Right.
don't. Unless you have a guy like we talked about Schwarber who could just do it. Ivan, I don't know that he's good enough to just be a DH. I mean, if I was going to place my bet on one guy on our team to do that, it's probably him. He has
Hmm.
proven that he is a hitter.
Hmm.
But if he's your catcher, oh man, he is really valuable. Like if he could just be a league average catcher, he's really valuable. So that's my con. I mean, he's an untouchable guy in my opinion. He's the
Yeah.
best hitter on our team. Everything tells you that. It's just the value lost from him not being a catcher really hurts.
Yeah. Andy, Ivan, thoughts?
Yeah, there is a stretch. You're right. It is a prolonged lull. About the entire time since the All-Star break, he's cooled off from the all caps Avon trains. Uh, there is a stretch though, in August, early August, where he was approaching 400 on base,
Oh yeah.
expected weighted on base average, which is, listener, you're ready for this one. It's you use stuff like exit velocity, launch angle to see what it should have been. Whether or not, like maybe a defensive player made a stupid good play and robbed him, like oh he was robbed.
All right,
Uh,
strips that.
it
Right.
strips all that away and like simulates basically, okay, based on these things, this is what the Madden simulation says that it
Right.
should be, right? The EA servers say. So he was, the on base average at from your DH for prolonged amounts of time. He's still overall for the whole season. He definitely isn't a lull. He's
Yeah.
so if you take that metric, so this is what simulations say that this guy should be doing for the whole season. It's 356, and there's a stretch in early August for about a week where he was like at 400. I'll take that. I'll take that any day of the week. Yeah, there's gonna be lulls, but like again, if you just do the season as a whole, this is unless this continues, if we're all the way into the end of the season and he's still in the slump, good luck front office. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. But as of like right now, if he
Yeah.
comes out to like more average, like batting around 350, 375 on base average, then I'm quite solid with that number from a DH, regardless of the catching ability or not.
Well, Jonathan, I'm glad you framed it that way. I didn't want to, I just wanted to say the numbers and say that they were down. I don't want to lean in any direction, but
Right.
that the way you framed it exactly how I frame it, which is I think Herrera is kind of like a high floor and high ceiling guy. Like Brendan Donovan to me is a high floor but kind of low ceiling. You know, what I mean, there's only so many ways that he's going to transform your lineup. If this is as bad as we've seen Ivan during this season, and he's still almost a league average hitter, going through just basically what for him is a power outage. But to your point, the exit velocity, like all the things say, no, 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 this guy's still hitting the ball hard. It's just the profile has changed.
Yeah.
That to me is the essence of the definition of what we're talking about when we use the catchphrase underlying numbers. Is you go a level deeper than his results and you take a look at how hard is he hitting the ball, all those kind of things. And I still think he's our highest ceiling hitter, besides maybe a guy batting first for Memphis. Um,
No
every other
kidding.
night. So my key question for Ivan is, I mean, he's going to be on the team. I don't know if he's going to be. I don't even really care about his position if he's going to hit like this. So my key question for him is he a capital G guy? Is he a lineup changer? And Jonathan, I think you said something smart about Schwarber. If Herrera's just our DH and that's all he does is just hit, he's 25 years old, but he hasn't had a whole lot of major league playing time. He's probably going to get better. So is he a capital G guy? Is he worth building the franchise around?
Yeah, Andy, I don't know. I mean, I was going to say yes, I think he has got to stay. He and
Yeah.
Wynn are the only two concrete untouchables for me for like several years. Walker is kind of in like the concrete is maybe drying, right? It's like he's there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
He's in the
yeah.
conversation just because everything that you know about him. But yeah, I mean, if this guy's on your team and this is what he does, and if you look at his overall stats, that's incredible. I mean, who would want that? We also do not have any right-handed hitters that can really do anything.
Mm, mm,
He's one of them,
mm.
so we got to keep him. My big question is, where is he going to play in the out? Like, where's he going to play? Is he going to play in the outfield? Is he going to play first base? Because on a team like we're watching the Yankees here, this is a pretty good reference. They get crushed for being kind of sloppy on defense. That's what
Yeah.
lost them the World Series last year.
Yep.
You can hide a few lower level defensive guys. Every team does it, right? We are just really good up the middle. Vic has been awesome. Wynn has been awesome, right? Arenado was better this year. You can hide a few of them. You cannot have a bunch of them. If you run out next year and your center fielder is Vic, your left fielder is Herrera, and your right fielder is Walker, I do not feel good about the outfield defense. And that's with Walker being much better. Now, that doesn't mean Yvonne can't learn and continue to do it. But my overarching point is I think you got to pick a guy that you stick with out in the outfield and hide one of them, right? Hide one of these guys in the outfield because I don't think the answer is to put him at first base because first base is arguably harder than one of the corner outfield positions, right?
Mm.
There's a lot going on at first base. So,
Yeah.
yes, I think that to answer your question, I believe he is a guy. I believe he is on the team. I believe he has to be on the team going forward. I just don't know that he's the capital G guy. Like he's not like Aaron Judge. He's not like somebody that's like, oh my gosh, it's Yvonne coming to the plate. But he's awesome. He's been great for us, and I think you
Yeah.
have to have him. Yes.
Yet, I would say that all that like he's not that yet. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that
True.
he will, but I think he's definitely. I
He's
was
still
talking with
young.
I was talking with my uncle yesterday about my son, how he has this kind of knack and aptitude to play ball, likes ball, and he said if he had one thing that he could do over again with our cousin was put like get that dog in him about batting instead of so much pressure about pitching because of how what toll it put on the pitching puts on the human body. It's not a natural motion. That Tommy John surgery is, you're basically your ligaments turn into rubber bands.
Hmm.
And I think that Ivan has gotten, I think he's gotten that message before when he was a kid, just be a dog at the plate. If you're hitting, you can't get out of the lineup. They're going to put you in. And I think he's earned at least that
Oh yeah.
for sure the next year. Obviously anything can happen, but he is an absolute yes onto the roster next year, no question. I feel good about that. Like he may not be like you guys are saying, he may not be Aaron Judge yet. I don't know. He's young and he's ripping the ball. So let's see what the dog eats up, baby.
Yeah, I think we should I think we should posture our franchise as though he is a capital G guy because we're not going to get one this offseason, right?
No,
So
no.
whatever has to happen, I think we should clear guys out of the way. I think if that means that, like, for some reason Burleson needs to be a casualty this offseason, I want them to clear out and make Herrera prove us wrong because we don't have guys that hit the ball. Well, we're getting ready to talk to one about one. We only have two guys that hit the ball like him, but he's one of them, and he has had considerably more success in his career than Jordan Walker has. And we got to see. I mean, if this is going to transform our lineup and Ivan Herrera 2 years from now is a household name because of how he hits, that doesn't happen all the time. And Alec Burleson is not going to be that. And I have serious doubts about Nolan Gorman. And I'm not doubting Ivan yet. So I think we should posture our franchise as though he is our guy. For
I
sure.
agree with that for sure. Yeah.
So speaking of the other guy who hits the ball, just absolute missiles. Jordan Walker, I saw just last night. I saw he had 3 exit velocities over 100, 2 over 110, and he was 1 for 3 because the one of the 110 was just a screaming missile, double off the wall. So post All-Star break, he has been doing kind of what we want to see from him. He's batting 284, 333. 395 slug is a little low, 728 OPS, a 107 weighted runs created plus, so he's above average at the plate, 6.9% walk rate, 26.4% K rate. And what I saw was we're getting higher hard contact numbers, but that ground ball rate is still really high from him, although not at like his peak. So Andy, Jordan Walker post All-Star break, we've already sung the Juan Soto praises over here. Got anything more to just open floor say about Walker?
I do batter run value.
Mm-hmm.
He is ranking in the top 9. So people who are around him, Cody Bellinger, we got Acuna out there for the junior. So yeah, I think what we have seen this year, I think definitively to put in my book, he did it. He did enough to get onto the roster next year.
Okay.
Enough has occurred that he has at least earned another season to go fail if he's going to fail, or another season to show again, yes, he deserves to be in the big leagues. I think he has done that. He struggled with injury the first half of the season, and I think that he's getting healthy. And I think if this is what healthy Jordan Walker does, then if this is his floor, if this is his average, I think that that's good enough to go send him out there again. 100%.
Okay. Jonathan?
Do you guys want to know why he's been pretty good since the post the All-Star break? I got the one and only stat that will solve this.
Give us the magic bullet.
He has a positive run value against sliders for the first time in a very long time, since 2023. He can now hit the slider. You have seen it, right? You have seen his new batting stance. It's not as open. This is where you get into like this great, and I don't know enough about this to speak, definitively on it, but shorter to the ball, catching the ball in front, the stance being shorter so he's not so far behind, all of those magic things that people look at. That's what apparently has been happening with him. Now, is that really why he's been better? I don't know. I just saw that and couldn't believe it because we've killed him for months on how he can't hit a slider to save his life. Mm-hmm. Everything else is perfect from the hits the ball hard as you know what, right? His exit velocity, you already said, the guy puts the barrel on it and it goes 110. It's insane, right? It's just, is he ever going to figure it out? Is he ever going to get the pitch selection right? Is he ever going to get the strikeout rate down? Is he ever going to hit the ball more consistently in the air? If he does that, I know we were comparing Ivan to Aaron Judge, which is completely unfair. I should have said that. That's insane, right? Aaron Judge is a Hall of Fame player. There's no question about it. Jordan Walker legitimately could be that. Like he has the strength and the exit velocity and the profile to become that. Is he ever going to do it though? Right? He's proven that he can change on defense. I've been really impressed with that. He, that first year out there, Matt, when we were watching, that was, oh my gosh, like that was really bad.
We're just taking some expeditions to the balls, like tent on his back, camping. Like it was an adventure. Yeah.
There's like a yak, in the background.
Oh man,
it was horrible. He's gotten better with that. So he 100% is on the team next year. He's got to be. It's just, can he ever put it together? Because if he doesn't, it's like the biggest what if in the history of the Cardinals if he can't ever put it together. More so than any of these other guys we've been disappointed with, Dylan Carlson, those kind of guys.
Sure.
He is just on an echelon way higher than that.
So I think for me, the thing I think about him is if he has signaled this openness to being coached, which I mean, what an insane thought, Jordan. If he will keep that mindset and that openness all the way through the offseason, what
Mm.
could really happen for him? So I don't know. Look, guys take different paths to greatness, and if he's ever going to be great, maybe he failed enough in order to, run up against the wall of I need to be different and I need to change. And so if that's what it was going to take, I mean, if he'll continue, because I guarantee you, Brant Brown has been giving him some things to work on and the
Yeah.
stance, and I guarantee you that the stance has led to better success against sliders. And so again, if Brant Brown can adjust that, and I think this is a good point to remind everybody that Albert Pujols just flat credited Brant Brown with changing his offensive approach with the Dodgers, and then the Cardinals reaped the benefits of that. Albert was like a legitimate weapon at 42
Mhm.
years old in our
Yeah.
lineup. So if he's going to be able to fix the slider problem for Walker, maybe we can finally fix the launch angle and elevation problem. And I'm telling you what, if that gets fixed, you guys, I mean, I don't know how many times we have said this season. And I hate to just say the same thing, but the guy's potential is at the moon because nobody in baseball swings harder. And these things are just missiles off of his bat. So you just can't ignore that. So I just am
Yeah.
hopeful that he'll take that kind of coachable mindset into the offseason and grow rather than just like, I'm happy to be here. I'm going to keep just hammering the ball into the ground. I hope he'll change.
So just to
Yeah.
recap, I guess we have Jonathan and I both are hesitantly, yes, Nolan Gorman will be on the team next year, but we don't necessarily agree personally with that. We
Yeah.
Matt is taking a step of faith and saying he's going to be off the team. Yes, right? Did
I
I get
am.
that
I,
right?
I actually want him on the team. I want us to clear the roster to give him another run at it. But I don't think he will be with us. Right.
And we have Avon and Walker both have definitely earned a spot on the
Yeah.
2026 rosters, correct? That's where we all landed with those
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. And I think we've said this before, but I'll say it again. Jordan Walker's 23. He's 23.
Yes.
Aaron Judge was still in college
Yes.
or right around it. Okay. And I know that's hard to see because we are watching him struggle at the highest level. And if Jordan Walker was a prospect in like 2005, he probably would have made it to the major leagues when he was like 28, 27. He might
Right.
have, truly.
Right.
Right. So we are watching him fail spectacularly right now. So to your point, Matt, if he unlocks that and he actually does change his habits here, we won't be able to re-sign him. I just want to say that. Enjoy these last couple of years if he actually turns it on, because he'll be worth $700 million. Because I mean, if he could do it, I doubt he's going to be worth 700. But you see what I'm saying? Like, if he's that good, we're not going to sign that.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys did this too, but I was operating with thinking about these players and asking these key questions to myself. I was operating under the assumption 2026 is going to look a whole lot like 2025. I don't really think there's going to be that much of a different product on the field. So under those auspices, like if we
Yeah.
were thinking next year we're going to be a 95 win team, I'd have a different thought about Nolan Gorman. I'd have a different thought about Walker. But I'm thinking this is still, I don't want to use the word runway again. Let's find a new one. But I think we're still in that kind of churn of the roster. Is that how you guys were approaching it too?
Yeah, trust the process.
Yeah, I viewed it like that. I just hope next year the difference is there's not the log jam is unjammed.
Yes.
If there's one thing we can do, if we can get rid of Arenado, I don't even care what it is, or we need to go to him, either get rid of him, like just pay him and cut him, which I doubt they'll do, like you said, Matt, at the top.
Yeah.
Or we just say, listen, like you're not going to play every day. That's it. Like you want to be on the team, you're not going to play every day, or we can try to trade you somewhere else because we can't give like I was just thinking about Gorman. He hasn't had really like a consistent run all year. It's kind of been like start, stop, and it's like
Because we got to get
cannot-
this guy at bats, we got to get that guy at bat. Yeah, they're all
Because
eating
then,
each other's at
Marmol's
bats.
like, well, Burley deserves to be in there. And it's like, I don't agree with that. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's what he thinks. Like these guys deserve to be in there. So somebody's going to be hurt. And Gorman has been hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. Listeners, I think we're just going to call an audible live here. And I think we should just devote the entire next episode to this minor league stuff because I think there's too many names. And I think at least when I was going through these names, and we're going to be looking at some fast risers and who we could see next year and who's on the horizon to watch. I was really struck by the profiles of the guys that are worth watching and thinking about in the minor leagues is very different than the profiles of who populates our major league roster. And I think that you can already start to see like Bloom and his team, you can already start to see that happening in the minor leagues. And because we have spent so much of the show talking about that, and that's how important it is, I really think we should just devote the whole next episode to the horizon and what's going on. So I think we will do that. We should, however, take a look forward at the Marlins series and the Tampa Bay Rays series. Both of those are away. And so just guys in the next week against the Marlins and the Rays, two Florida teams, what are you guys looking for? Andy, go first.
I am going to be looking for sunshine. That's what I'm going to be looking for, as in a better record, as in not that, just, something to really sink our teeth in and be like, overcome Jonathan's sadness of embarrassment. That's what I'm going to be looking for.
I need to melt away the sadness.
The Florida sunshine. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. Jonathan, what are you looking for?
I am looking at some of the bullpen guys. Leahy kind of got hit hard last night, I think it was last night. Swanson sort of buckled a little bit the other night. Like, he threw a ton of pitches. It's interesting to watch what Marmola's doing with them, so I want to continue to watch it. Because when you see Swanson, like, he's out there for, like, almost 3 innings now. And I find that very interesting that that's what they're doing, that it's like whenever Leahy comes in, it's not for an inning. He pitches, like, 3. And I like to see that. So I'm interested to see, like, are they doing the same thing with Swanson? Like, are they going to try to stretch him a little bit? Because that would be interesting.
That's a good
point. How they do that.
I think they're kind of like doing what they're doing. They're trying to find a Mats almost, like we lost Mats out of the bullpen. And that's exactly what they're kind of doing with some of those, like, who can fill that role of long reliever.
Yeah. And the only thing, I was going to say, offensive side, I'm just watching Newt. I'm watching Newt. He's still hitting the ball really hard. I do want to give him credit for that. But I just want to watch him the rest of the year. He is a huge question mark. I don't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk about that in another episode, but I'm watching him pretty closely.
Yeah, I'm interested in the Rays. The Rays are currently sitting with the same record that we have. And if I'm honest, I don't know if I can name 4 Tampa Bay Rays right now, and I feel like I follow baseball pretty closely. So that is a franchise with just a wonderful track record of player development and all that. And so as I'm watching these games, I just want to see their guys. I want to see how they profile when they flash their stats up, like what kind of players are they developing? Because Chaim Bloom worked in the Rays organization, and that's why we were so excited to get a hold of him after his Red Sox tenure. So I'm very interested in the Rays just to see what they have going. Sometimes they'll have great years, other times they're kind of low, and this year's kind of a down year for them. So I am interested to see what that holds for us. And I don't know. Maybe we'll get some winning baseball. That would be nice. I don't like rooting to lose. That's not fun. I'd still rather have this team win, even though I see the big picture of the franchise. I'd still rather have some dubs. So we want to thank you for tuning in to the Redbird Rundown, your go-to source for St. Louis Cardinals news. Subscribe, rate, and review the show to help us grow. Follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Facebook for the latest news. Keep your rally caps on, and let's go Cards.
Bottom of B building.